fun. Hello, everyone. I'm going to go get a trash bag. I'm not a trash bag. Trash can. Oh, it's a shit show this morning. It's an absolute shit show if you've been joining me on this Instagram live, which will not be saved. Okay, hold on, YouTube. Instagram, join me on YouTube right now. YouTube.com. Bye. Okay. If this is any indication of how I am right now. Okay. All right. Yay. We made it. Untangled, episode 64. Wowzers. Once again, I am going to comment that I apologize for the hair. I do not like this light right here, but we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it. Untangled, episode 64. Hi, everyone. Oh my God, I have not been engaging in social media, doing a post. I've not done anything for an entire week. So there's that. I did get a new sweatshirt, so that makes me happy. There's very few things in the world that make me happy right now. I will share with you what they are. This Aviator Nation hot pink sweatshirt. Go get one, please. You'll love it. Coffee with vanilla oat milk. And I don't give a fuck what my hair looks like attitude. 3 things that make me happy right now. Okay. What are 3 things that make you happy right now? Give it to me. Join me, please. Make me feel not so alone in my craziness. I've had a really up and down week. That's like this sweatshirt, I think it's pretty expensive. It's like $180. Listen, there's nothing normal about spending that kind of money on a sweatshirt, and it's ridiculous and absolutely embarrassing. So let's just not comment on that. Lavender tea, sunshine, and you hiking in the mountains, Halloween cupcakes. My dog snoring at night. What are 3 things that make you guys happy? Sleeping in bed, resting, being lazy. Oh my God, I love being lazy. Fruits, coffee, sun, warm bed, less COVID symptoms, healthy food. Entangled. Coffee in the sun, my bed, and Netflix. I love it. Remembering the light within the darkness in the Middle East. Being lazy hits. Oh, Lord, have mercy, you guys. Where do we start? Oh, I hope I don't cry. Muir Woods, my bed, and pasta. I love Muir Woods. Okay. Lori, the liberation of humanity. The liberation of humanity is the liberation of the human, right? And I was just talking about that on Instagram when I was going live. I have, oh God, where do I want to start? Well, first of all, thanks for being here. Welcome to Untangled. The reason that I do Untangled is I like to discuss the uncomfortable stuff that we go through in our own internal world. And it's always a reflection of the uncomfortable stuff that's happening in the external world. And I think that if we can see that reflection, if we can understand that this isn't just about what we are navigating externally, but it is more importantly what we are navigating internally, and to get so comfortable and familiar with these internal waves, these internal ups and downs and wars and battles within our own self, we will be able to open our hearts to the external battles and wars and divide that's going on in the world. And I don't know about you, but one of the things that is one of the most difficult things right now being on the planet is feeling, is watching and feeling, right? And this light is so fucking annoying. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Like, I have issues. Hold on a second. Where is that glare coming from? My own screen. Agent Johnny, thank you so much for the super chat. If you guys know me at all, you know that I have OCD, and like when there's a glare, it drives me up the wall. There's a glare with my honestly, I'm gonna lose my mind. There's still a glare. Okay. OCD has to just be okay. Oh, does anybody else have OCD like I do when it comes to things like this? All right. Thank you for the super chat, Agent Johnny Red. Okay. So back to I've had an intense week. Hopefully I'm not going to cry. And if I cry, I fucking cry. I don't give a shit. There are a couple of big themes that are coming up right now that I feel on this planet. And they're going to continue to come up. They're not going to go away. And my God, we better start getting used to them. And one of them is being able to feel all of this pain, being able to feel the sadness, being able to feel the uncomfortable, being able to feel um, the divide, right? And really watching that we are a very divided planet, and we will continue to be shown divide until we are capable of being. And by the way, this divide is a divide within your own state of being. You most likely have a division within your own self where these things are okay and these things aren't. These emotions are okay to feel, these things aren't, right? This I should be doing, this I shouldn't be doing. And of course, you can always argue that that is very different than the divide of, mean people and nice people, or people that believe this and people that believe that. But at the end of the day, it's the exact same thing. It is simply division. It is thinking that one thing is better than another thing. One opinion is better than another opinion. One emotion is better than another emotion. And so that is a theme that we will continue to see arise over and over again on this planet for years to come, because it is the most difficult to be able to stand in whatever situation is arising and to not believe that one side is the right side and one side is the wrong side. And to be able to hold this awareness that both sides, believe it or not, are doing the best that they can, that both sides are humanity. That there is always this underlying story that's playing out in some way, shape, or form that wants to perpetuate or continue to create a divide. That is absolutely underlying all of it. There's a part of me that, um, you know, and what's going on in my own internal world. Right? So the divide in the external world will continue to be shown to us in all different scenarios, in all different countries, on the entire planet. And just, can we pay attention to that? Wow, that's it. Like, can I just pay attention to um, the energy of divide? Just pay attention to it, and open our hearts to any division that we feel. Opening our hearts more and more. Can we see that this is humanity awakening? Can I drop into this is humanity awakening? Okay, so that's one piece that's arising right now. Been arising, will continue to arise. The second piece, there's three kind of themes that I've been tapping into. The second theme that I've been tapping into lately is our own internal division away from ourselves. Okay? So regardless of how your life is right now, if you're super duper happy and excited, and you just came out of, like, you know a really tough time, or you're heading into a tough time, or you're somewhere in between, you're navigating the world, you're trying to survive, you want to get out of what you're in, you wish that you were in something else, you're super stoked where you're at, it doesn't matter. There is a divide within you that believes that there are aspects of you that are not okay, that are not allowed to be seen, or not allowed to be spoken, or not allowed to be felt. Thank you, Steve, so much for the super chat. There is divide within you. It can be subtle or it can be intense. For me, it's been shown lately that it's pretty intense. That there has been a very loud voice within myself that has been, um, You could call it almost like a suffocation. Um, it's like there's been a strobe light on me, and I've been dissecting myself and judging myself and having all these different opinions about myself, and it's been really uncomfortable. And I've been watching it. And when you have judgments around yourself, when you have opinions about yourself, when you have this intense um, awareness and belief around what is okay or what isn't okay, or the loud thoughts and judgments within yourself, that is divide within your own state of being. And to be able to recognize that anytime you wake up in the morning, and let's just say that you find yourself in anxiety, and then you're like, this anxiety isn't okay. Thank you so much for the super chat, Nan. This anxiety isn't okay. I shouldn't be feeling this anxiety. This anger isn't okay. That's a divide. That's division. That you are literally separating the you that you are from what it is that's being experienced. And what I mean by that is that every single experience that's being experienced is a whole, is the whole, is everything. You are not, you're your emotions, the emotions. You're not the thoughts. You're none of that. But as soon as you identify as anxiety, as soon as you say, I shouldn't be having anxiety, you then are grabbing it, identifying it, you become separate, you are individuating, and now there is a divide. You create a division within your own inner world when you judge what it is you're experiencing because you believe what you're experiencing. I believe that my body should look different. I believe that I should be doing things differently. Thank you so much, Paula, for the super chat. Thank you, Martin, for the super chat. Think about how you are. If you are not, and most of us aren't, okay, but this is a huge theme right now, is being who we are, being our complete messiness and beautifulness. Just being ourselves, all of us, all of what arises. Okay. So any emotion that arises, my God, it deserves to be here. Any sound that comes out of your voice, out of your mouth, deserves to be here. Anything you say deserves to be here. Anything you think deserves to be here. Any way that you walk deserves to be here. The way you wear your clothes deserves to be here. Everything deserves to be here. None of it is you. None of it is you. This entire planet believes that it's the illusion of these wars and these atrocities and this divide and this and all the stuff that we're going through and will continue to go through. We believe that that is who we are. And so we laser beam focus on it, we judge it, we start tearing it apart, and all that does is perpetuate what it is that we don't like. Right? Thank you, Richard, for the super chat. The practice that we have the practice that we have right now is what is happening internally at the end of the day. You could tell me all the crazy things that are going to happen in the world. You can tell me all the crazy things that are happening in the world. Thank you, Lauren, for the super chat. The only way that we change this entire planet is by changing the internal state. And what that means is that we stop freaking dividing our internal world by judging every single fucking thing that we're thinking and feeling and going through and being as if it's us, as if you don't deserve to be all of what is arising. We deserve to be so fully authentic and raw and vulnerable that we just be with what is as it's arising. We stop comparing ourselves. We stop worrying about what others are going to think or what others are going to do or how it's going to impact. That's not to say that you don't want to be aware of how you are impacting people. But thank you so much, Una, for the super chat. Thank you, Peru, for the super chat. But there is something profound that is happening. And I've talked about this distraction, the distractions right now. The distractions are pulling us out of our own internal divide so that we stay focused on the external divide and focused on all the stinking stories about this is happening and this is happening and then this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And all that does is numb out the voices within you that are unconsciously perpetuating this internal divide as if something is wrong with you in order for you to stay focused on the external world, creating a divide of right, wrong, good humans, bad humans, right way to do it, wrong way to do it, should think this, shouldn't think that. We are simply perpetuating that which we don't want to experience in our own inner worlds. And as long as the systems out there can do that to us, we will stay in a disempowered, mind controlled state of being for a very long time. So every single time that some sort of story erupts that is being shown to me in the external world, I know immediately. Thank you, Wayne, for the super chat. Thank you, Annie, for the super chat. Thank you, Biff, for the super chat. Every single time I hear a story that rattles me, that angers me, that upsets me, that wants me to blame other people, I immediately know right now this is about me going in and listening to my own internal judgments. Where within myself am I not allowing whatever is arising to just be? Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that? When something happens, when an emotion arises within you, what do you do with it? Push it away? When a thought arises of I'm unworthy, what do you do with that? It's not you. But the more that you grab it and judge it and make it you, instead of just seeing it as this insane, humbling thought that has been creating your reality and making you believe that this is who you are your whole life. It's the same thing as the external world. It is no different. The external world is going to tell you who to like and who to not like. It's going to tell you what's worthy and not worthy. It's going to tell you what's good. It's going to tell you what's bad. And we unconsciously, as the brainwashed humans that we are, we follow it and believe it because we have not come into a complete and whole state within ourselves. The moment we do that, we will have a whole and complete version of the world, and we will watch everything unraveling with a wide open heart, with sadness, with anger, with whatever arises, but we will not be perpetuating the same energies that are being perpetuated right now through these stories. It's extremely difficult what we're doing. It's extremely challenging to do what we're doing right now because you have to basically break out of the prison that you have been in most of your life, how you have lived, which is if something arises on the planet, I have to choose a side. If something arises on the planet, I have to get angry and blame somebody. If something arises internally, I have to decide if it's good or bad, right or wrong. If something arises inside of me, I'm in charge of getting rid of it. No, you're not. You're in charge of allowing it, accepting it, and loving it. Anything other than that is such a disrespect to you. Think about you as if it's you're this little child, this 5-year-old. Every moment of every day, you're this little 5-year-old. And there's this voice that comes in that says, "You're not allowed to feel that. Why are you doing this? Why are you acting that way? You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be exhausted. You should be more active on this, on social media. You should be making more money." And it's just this really bullying voice that's constant, whether you're aware of it or not. And maybe it's subtle, and maybe it's not so subtle, but it's there. It's not a voice of there's a perfection in how you are being right now. There's a beautifulness in what's unraveling. It doesn't feel good, keep going. You don't like it, keep going. You don't want that, keep going. You're absolutely incredible and courageous for being in what you're in right now. Keep going. You're doing the best you can. Keep going. Everything's unraveling for the highest good for you, for the you that you think you are. Keep going. Everything that is imploding within you is showing you the deeper illusions of who you thought you were. Keep going. There are no mistakes. Keep going. And this is the same for the external world. We've got to see the deep, 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 like rooted shadow of control, of manipulation, anything other than giving your heart to what is happening on the planet is giving over your mind. Staying in our hearts as often as we can through all of this is what's being asked. It doesn't mean that we don't have emotions that are enraged or sad or angry. But I'm telling you, there is something behind the scenes that we can't see that is trying its best to keep us out of our most empowered state. So it's very difficult to grasp this, to conceptualize this, to understand this, and you don't have to. But it is what's happening. There is a play unraveling behind the scenes, very much like the Wizard of Oz, all for the sake of controlling humanity. And the way they control us is through mind, not heart. And how do they keep us in mind? They keep us in divide, they keep us in fear, they keep us in stories. And we are addicted to that. We are addicted to taking sides. We are addicted to finding who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. And this is exactly the same thing as what happens in your inner world. We take sides in our inner world. We like ourselves when we're like this. We don't like ourselves when we're like this. We have a voice that beats us up. We have a voice that loves us. We have thoughts that we try to create so that we can believe that we're going to have a better life. And there are thoughts that are absolutely not allowed. What happens when you stop being in the mind so much and you drop into heart? Think about this. What happens when you drop right now into your heart? So in this moment, instead of thinking and instead of trying to understand and conceptualize and trying to figure things out, how do you drop into your heart? You breathe for a moment. It's a drastic difference when you drop into heart as opposed to mind, which you could also say is dropping into body over mind. The second you bring awareness to body or to heart, story dissolves. Humanity is revealed as hearts themselves. You start to recognize that maybe you're doing the best you can. This is why it is so important and so imperative that we really start to listen to all the different stories from all the different voices out there. This is about this evolution in human consciousness, which is why you're here Not only is it no mother freaking joke, and it will feel like a battle internally and externally. At the end of the day, it is about coming back into the body, freeing your mind from manipulation and control externally and internally, which is simply just the external and controlling you and creating programs and and systems within your own being that controls you, and dropping into your heart, dropping into love, dropping into presence. That does not mean you have to love everything. That's impossible. It means you drop into your natural state as often as possible, which is heart, which is now, which is breath. You can go back out and scream and yell and think about all the crazy things that are going to happen in the next couple of months. None of that shit fucking matters. I'm sorry for cussing, but it is so frustrating because what matters most is that we are living inside our inner world, that we're in body. That is how we break free from this. If we just focused on that, the whole planet would be evolving so much faster. So it's a frustrating place sometimes for me to watch because I see how difficult it is for myself personally to do the real deep inner work, and how much. Thank you for the super chat. The Piney. It it's so much easier to listen to these fun things that are happening out there. And it's important on one level. Knowledge, great. Information, great. How's your internal world? How much judgment are you having around yourself? How free are you to be you? How free are you to be you? With anyone, in any situation? How authentic are you? So here's an interesting little tidbit. Um, a dear friend of mine sent me a Instagram reel the other day. And I don't know how true this is because everything is just God knows where it's coming from. But one of the reasons I do Untangled, and one of the reasons that I show up vulnerably and raw and kind of describing my own experience, is because I believe that authenticity is being honest, being real, being humble, being you is the most important thing. Just bearing it all. Stop trying to pretend. Stop trying to act like everything's fine. You got your shit together. It's like, let's just make sure that we are so authentic that everyone's walking around like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. And she sent me this video, and it was this woman that was talking about this study that was done by these scientists. Did a study of a certain amount of thousands of human beings. I want to say 25,000, but I feel like that's a lot. I can't remember. If anybody saw this video, correct me. They were studying the frequency. First of all, they realized, oh my God, there's frequency that comes out of a human body. They can measure it. It's like, okay, yeah, that's obvious. Where have you been? Yes, you can. We're freaking energy. Of course you can measure the vibration or the frequency of the body. Anywho, side note. So they started measuring when humans were in a state of fear, they would measure that. Yeah, when humans were in love, they measured that. When they were feeling authentic, they measured that. I don't know how they got the human to feel that. They probably instigated it with either like a video, or had them think about something, had them imagine this or that. I'm not exactly sure. But they were measuring all these different emotional states. They were measuring the body's frequency in all these different emotional states. And the state the state of being, the emotional state that had the highest frequency, I think it was 10,000 times higher than love, was authenticity. Authenticity. And it shook me to my core because to me, authenticity is simply being with what is. Authenticity, authenticness means that whatever is arising is experienced. You're not pretending, you're not denying, you're not trying, you're not efforting to get out of, you're not changing. There's an authenticness of the experience of what is, knowing it's not you. There is a freedom. Now, we have believed that authenticity means that, like, you're authentically being you. I would go way deeper, which is why this study sort of really rattled me yesterday. Authenticity is allowing the you that you think you are to be everything, all of it. All of it. You get to be depressed, you get to be angry, you get to be sad, you get to be rageful, you get to be fat, you get to be skinny, you get to be weird, you get to be smart, you get to be dumb, you get to be whatever it is that is arising. That is authenticity. And that is absolute freedom. That is opening to life. That is that state of being is enlightenment, is awakening. That's why it had the highest frequency from the body. So when that human awareness brought awareness to the experience or the state of being of called authenticity, the vibration was the highest because it was spirit embodied. Authenticity is peeling back all the layers of judgment, restriction, right, wrong, good, bad, programming, and spirit gets to arise and just be. Authenticity is being spirit in body. And in every moment, we have the capacity and the capability of being authentic. It's your natural state. It's what Jesus did. It's what Buddha did. It's what so many masters did. They embodied spirit, which means that in the human experience, walking around humaning, watching chaos in the world, you don't think Jesus saw all the shit happening with the Romans and he saw everything. He didn't hide away. He didn't pretend. He saw human suffering. He saw the illusion. He saw the creation of divide. He saw greed. He saw control. He saw all of it. And he saw it through the lens of spirit inside his physical body. He saw it through the lens of love. He saw it through the lens of separation, meaning everyone thinks they're separate. The moment we start realizing what this is all about and how we're going to get there is the moment that we'll turn the televisions off. It's the moment we will use such deep discernment that we will have a smile on our face and arms opening to all of what humanity is going through. We will embrace it. We will realize that whatever side humanity is trying to pull each other into, we will start opening our arms and realizing there are no sides. It's all fucking stories. You could be on either side depending upon where you were born, what family you were born into. This is humanity healing itself. And the way humanity heals itself, the way humanity comes back into its divine natural state is that it has each human awareness has to come back into body and it has to embody its spirit. Everything else is secondary. So how are you embodying authenticity? How are you allowing yourself to just be who you are, which is not really who you are, but it's what we'll say you are until you actually realize who you are? How many people around you are telling you what to think or feel or be or do? How many voices within your own being are you listening to about what's good and bad about you should or shouldn't do, what you should or shouldn't look like, what you should or shouldn't feel? That's not spirit. That's not authenticity. That's not your highest state. And the more we come in to our own being, the more we allow, I hope the housekeepers aren't coming in right now. I mean, they can come in, that's fine. I'll just tell them they can't clean yet. Yeah, paying a very close attention to what you're giving your focus and energy to right now. And really, 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 you guys, literally turning on the volume to your thoughts. Turning on the loudness of your thoughts. Oh, I want to tell you guys a story. Um, so the other day, my girlfriend Kyla, she's an amazing friend of mine. Hi Kate. She makes these magic mushroom chocolates, and I am not one to take um, anything. I don't do anything. I don't smoke weed. I don't do ayahuasca. I don't do mushroom. I don't do anything. Um, but I had a friend of mine visiting, um, and I was like, "Hey!" And my girlfriend Kyla was telling me about how a friend of hers took one of the little chocolates, and um, if you're interested in getting the information, just email me. But um, she was telling me how they all went out to dinner and this friend of hers ate one chocolate and he was like having so much fun and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, you know what, that would kind of be fun. Can I have some? And she's like, yeah, here's two chocolates. And so this friend of mine and I, we went and um we split a chocolate and we went on a hike. And I was a little trepidatious because I don't like to alter my brain. Um, but I knew it'd be okay. Super comfortable around this person, and I knew it'd be fun. So, and I've done mushrooms many times in my past, and it wasn't fun. I didn't like it. But we did these magic mushrooms. We each took a half of a chocolate. We start walking down the trail. 30 minutes in, I'm like, oh, I don't feel very good. I feel a little nauseous and dizzy. I can't really walk anymore. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, we need to turn around and go sit somewhere." So we sat and for a couple of hours. And there was a few moments that I want to share with you that were pretty profound. I'm sure many of you have had even more profound experiences on all the different medicines that you can take, including ayahuasca, right? But I haven't done it in all. I haven't done those. So we're on this bridge and we're overlooking the redwood forest that goes out to the ocean in Northern California. And all of a sudden I feel the power of nature. I'm sure so many of you guys have felt this on some sort of psychedelic. I'd love to hear if you have. I was taken my I'll never forget this moment. I was looking out all these trees going like in this canyon going into the ocean. And I stopped and I could feel the breath of nature of God. I could feel that these trees noticed me and I noticed them. And I could hear them say, "Thank you for seeing us." And I realized there was a world beyond the world that we see with our third dimensional physical eyes. And this world is a higher vibrational state, right? It's nature. And it's not just nature that unfortunately we only see with our, we can sometimes, most of the time we just look out and we see the trees and we're like, oh, they're so beautiful. But as most of you know, they're alive, right? And they just want to be seen, just like you and I. They want to be acknowledged. And when they are, they will thank you. Just like when you're acknowledged, you thank someone. So I'm standing there and these waves of communication are happening between me and nature. And I just start crying because I'm realizing how we have ignored this powerful vibrational beingness and how it's been here the whole time. And how all it wants is to be seen, recognized, not because it needs it, but because it's why it's here. It's here to experience uh, the interaction with humans from their vibrational state, not from the third dimensional vibrational state of the body. And it's a whole other world. It's a whole other dimensional field. And I realized in that moment, holy, this is the power. And the most profound thing happened when I realized how powerful nature is, how profound it is, more powerful than any weapon that we have. I started thinking about the Avatar 2 movie, if you guys have seen that, and how, they were fighting against the humans with the jets and the bombs and all that. And their last resort was going to nature. They needed the trees. They needed nature, and nature is what saved them. But they were using like all the other animals and they were using their own bodies to try to fight against these heavy machinery men with bombs and everything. And so I'm looking out, right? And I'm hearing this communication with nature, and it's thanking me, and I'm like in awe, and they're like, you see us, and I see you, and blah blah blah. Then all of a sudden, do you guys know who the Blue Angels are? There's these fire jets. No, not fire jets. I don't know what they're called. Jets, but anyways, what are they called, you guys? Fire jets, and whatever jets, and they're called the Blue Angels. They go all over the United States, and there's like 6 or 7 of fighter jets. Fighter jets. They're fighter jets, and they do these like really cool circular things and all kinds of things, right? And they form beautiful circles and do flips and blah blah blah. So here I am watching and recognizing, really for the first time in my life, the absolute power of nature in a way that I never have before, and really communicating with it, seeing it, communicating with it, recognizing it. And all of a sudden, over the hills, the Blue Angels appear, and these big, powerful, loud jets, fighter jets. And the contrast between the illusion of this power, right? Beautiful, beautiful machinery. But the contrast of power was profound because nature was 10 times more powerful than those fighter jets. And yet the fighter jets are beautiful and amazing, and how spectacular that humans can create these machines and whatever, right? There isn't a right or a wrong, a good or a bad, a should or a shouldn't, right? It just is the contrast. And that contrast occurred in the moment where I was connecting with the most powerful force on this planet, which is nature. And the most powerful force on this planet is silent. And the illusion of what is the most powerful force is loud, moves, is obnoxious, right? Beautiful. Phenomenal that it can flip and that it does all these things in the sky, and that's not lost on me. In fact, I had no preference. But on an energetic level, I was acutely aware of what held the most power energetically, and it was nature. And the moment of those blue angels are flying over was not that moment was incredible that it happened right then. And the rest of the hike back, after we had sat for a couple of hours, there were these trees that I would stop at. And I swear to God, I know I was on mushrooms. I got it. I got it. But they just wanted to be seen. And the moment they knew that you saw them, they said, "Thank you for seeing me." Telepathically, they said, "Thank you for seeing me." And it blew my mind that we don't see. We see physically all the time. All day long, we see nature. We don't see it. Not with our hearts, not with our bodies. We don't see it. And so I don't know what the answer is to all of this other than it's real. And there is a contrast on this planet. There is peace and there is war. There is love and there is fear, right? There is joy and there is sadness. There is divide and there is unification. That is part of the human experience. There is the power and profound awe of nature, and there are fighter jets. You can't argue that. That would be arguing with reality, and that creates suffering. You can't argue with duality, polarity, contrast. We are here to learn how to embrace it all with an open heart, with authenticity, with our spirit, without saying one is better than the other. One should be here and one shouldn't be here. Same with you. There is contrast in your own experiences all day long. There is this beautiful, profound power like nature in you, and there is this, man-made beliefs and thoughts and programs and behaviors that are in as well. It's just the contrast of the human experience. It's not you. You learn how, as a spirit, to open your arms to all of it, to see all of it, to feel all of it, to recognize all of it, and to choose how you want to be in it. We get to choose in every moment how we are going to um, uh, what lens we're going to use to see our internal world and our external world. How are you viewing you? What are you saying to you that you're believing? How are you viewing the external world? Whose stories are you listening to as truth? What are you choosing to focus on as truth or not truth? Where's your heart in all of these moments? Pay attention to blaming other people for what you're experiencing right now. Pay attention to blaming other people for what's happening in the world right now. This external world is a reflection of our own internal worlds. What we are seeing out there wouldn't be happening if it wasn't happening in the human's inner world, period. We don't change the external world by perpetuating what it is that it's telling us: the divide, the fear, the blame, the right wrong. We change the entire planet, we change everything. We evolve through this by going inward, embodying our own spirit, and allowing for whatever it is that's arising to be okay, including this hair. Oh my God, I always have blow pops. I actually have like 5 blow pops in my purse right now. Seriously. All right, you guys. I think I'm gonna get going soon. Thanks for being here, Sarah. Oh, Kareen. Blow pops are like literally my favorite thing in the whole world. They're like lollipops that have gum in the middle. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Mike. Hi. So good to see you. How are you? How have you been? I think you're the Mike. Um, I used to love blow pops. Oh my God, they were so good. So good. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna be back on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube more. I um I think I said that a couple weeks ago and I went silent again. Can't help it. Certain things are happening in my life where it just requires me to pay attention to all the judgments. I've got so many loud judgments in my head sometimes, and um yeah, there's just a lot that continues to arise and to be shown to me. Like, Lori, look at how you're still being. Look at what you still believe. Look at what you're still allowing. Look at what you still think. Look at what you're still afraid of. Look at what, and it can be difficult for me personally to show up as a teacher and pretend that that's not happening. I can't do it. I can't just be like, oh, everything's great and let's talk about this. And, meanwhile, my internal world and my personal world is really challenging. I just can't do it. So unless I'm going to be completely authentic, right, and show up and tell you guys what's happening, it doesn't make any sense. It seems fake as fuck. It's not what I'm going to do. And so I'm looking forward to sharing more and more of what has unraveled and what I'm going through. Um, on a very personal level. I think it's really, really important. And, there is a part of us that we need to start being all of who we are. We need to start being all of who we are. We need to stop hiding any part of us. Um, we need to stop pretending that we have it all together. We need to stop acting like we're in peace and we're positive and we're this and that when we're not. We need to allow chaos. We need to allow the unraveling of whatever. We need to be okay with it. We need to let it be okay. That is spirit saying, this isn't who you are. Just allow it. The fears, the scary moments, the rejections, the standing up for yourself, the speaking your own truth, holding firmer boundaries, letting people go, bringing people in, all of that, the juiciness of life, the absolute juiciness of what life is all about is not about being put together. It's not about having all the answers. It's about, in my opinion, the opposite, being messy, having no answers, um, but being courageous enough to show up in all of you, regardless of whether it disappoints people, regardless of whether it's what you want or how you want it to go, you don't want it to go, doesn't matter. Um, be you. How much can you be you today? All of you. How much can you allow, how much of the absolute what is of your experience can you allow today? How real can you be with yourself today? How much can you love yourself, love others, allow others to be who they are? Stop blaming other people for what you're experiencing. Stop blaming other people for your unhappiness or your sadness or your anger. I'm going through something right now with someone, and this person wanted to hold this story that it's their fault for all of what's arising. And I was like, "Abso-fucking-lutely not. I will not allow that. There is no way that you're gonna put me in a victim state as if I had no choice, as if I didn't know what I was getting into, as if I didn't know what I was saying yes to. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely not. I don't know what's happened in the past, but that's not happening in this situation. You don't get to, like, there's no victimhood in my experiences. No freaking way. I was not unconscious in any choice I made, right? And to recognize that you're not unconscious. You're choosing in every moment whether you want to believe that or not. Okay, whether you want to take self responsibility or not, you are choosing in every moment. You know deep down what you are saying yes or no to. You know what you are engaging in and not engaging in. And we need to be authentic in that and take self responsibility for that. Because deep down, nobody is doing anything to us. We are choosing, for the most part, at the end of the day, we're choosing what we're in and how we're reacting and responding and being in it, for the most part. There's leeway. All right, you guys, I got to go start Align. We're on day 7. Align is my 21-day intensive. It's mind blowing. It's life changing. It's fucking everything I need right now. And I'm so glad we're doing it. It's 30 minutes of just being with ourselves, being in presence, being with breath, being in body, being awareness, being God, etc. The link is down below if you do want to join us. We are on day 7 and we're going to day 21. So if you haven't joined and you want to try it out, it's only $59. So it's down in that description box. And join us. All the replays are available for the last 6 days. And we have, I don't know, however many more days we have. If you haven't liked this video, like it, please. The algorithm can get going. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't and you want to, because you'll get notified when I go live again. And let's see if I get my little booty back out onto social media soon. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of my community. Thank you for being part of the human community. Thank you for incarnating at this time, choosing to incarnate at this time, choosing to be a badass mother freaking warrior. shining your light, being all of who you are, no matter mother freaking what. Sorry for all the cuss words in this live, but it is what it is, right? I love you. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with others. I'll see you next Tuesday. And if you want to join a line, it's right here. Mwah.